Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. Here again with Ira and Andrea, and again, really appreciate their generosity of spirit and their willingness to dive into some complicated topics, including today, where we have a little bit of a debate. We have a debate around things like respect and compassion and how those things survive in the midst of a lot of chaos, raising complicated children, trying to basically just be different people and actually just define words differently. In the end, we're trying to figure out how they can get some relief in tangible ways in the short term. A lot of these issues that we carry around in our relationships, they linger. They've been around forever and they'll be around forever, mostly because of the way we're wired. But that doesn't mean there's nothing to be done about it. So we speculate about that. Again, really grateful for these guys for sharing their story with us. Grateful for you for listening. I've really appreciated your emails, your feedback, your questions, and I'm going to try and get back to them shortly. In fact, next week, I'm going to do kind of a summary episode of our time. If you do have questions, try and send them to me right away, and I'll see if I can address them directly in the recording, and we'll see what we can learn together. For now, this is a very cool conversation. Stick around. How are you guys feeling this morning, this afternoon?
Oh man, we've had quite a journey. Feels like everything's in.
Oh my gosh, kids, our kids.
You've had quite a journey, kids-wise.
Yeah. It's just hard.
Yeah, our daughter's autistic, on the spectrum. She doesn't immediately present, but she's doesn't read social cues and has a very limited.
I think she actually does read social cues. She just doesn't engage.
Maybe she doesn't care about people's social cues or something.
Yeah, it's still work in progress.
Yeah.
But very limited things that she wants to try or do.
Mm-hmm.
And then our son has ADHD really strongly and just is super volatile. Like every little thing is a trigger.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a side quest, but as far as you know, do the two of you have a philosophy of parenting? Like, do you have clarity about what you think the goal of parenting is right now?
I would say it's kind of be the best parents we can be. Like, be like, be slow to anger, be nurture and challenge. Keep consistent boundaries, but always return back to love.
I mean, I think in terms of, just like thinking of parenting styles, we try to be authoritative, not authoritarian, and not permissive.
But we lean on the permissive side, probably.
Okay. Parenting neurodivergent kids is a whole other ballgame than parenting neurotypical kids.
Yeah.
There's certain things just don't work. And, we've been brought to our knees at certain times and have sought out like a parenting coach for us. And I think we're on the verge of needing another parenting coach for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot and it feels relentless.
Yeah. What's the upside? Like, what's the upside of being you guys? Of
right
being
now?
your family? Yeah.
Right now?
Well, I'd say there's a lot of upside as far as, we bought a beautiful new apartment in Lisbon that have the luxury of being able to renovate and make it really beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I'm at that point of where I'm able to spend more time with the family and on my art. I'm transitioning my career from weddings to my passion of doing photographic art, which is a dream and a big jump, a big risk, scary. Something that's really hard to really do is make a living doing art, specifically fine art.
Yeah.
But I think living in Lisbon is amazing. I've worked my butt off for 30 years and we've saved up money. So we're have a little nest egg that means, we can kind of do these things and make this transition. So I think
And
that's from my perspective.
And I think from my perspective, all of that, although my ability to enjoy it all at this juncture in time is a little bit limited by my other stuff. But because of the parenting and needing to reparent, there's purpose behind. Like, I feel like, I mean, there's a certain providence to the story of my kids and our story and my story particularly. There is a certain like deep surgery that's happening because of parenting.
Yeah.
That is essentially, like, while incredibly painful at times, also, I think for the better, for not just these kids or us, but for a wider world. So I think there is real, and I love the suckers. Like, I love them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think in many ways, again, even though it can suck, I think it's purpose, that there's something deeper going on at this particular point in time.
What would you say that is, out of the big ideas to the more detail?
Well, on a personal level, I don't know that I ever would have discovered that I'm neurodivergent had it not been for digging so deeply into the neurodivergent stuff. That's a piece of the puzzle that I didn't have, that I'm still absorbing what that means exactly. But also the, like, wanting, like, building what I wish I had, which is a community of people who also have kids who are challenging to parent. We all feel alone. We all feel kind of stretched and alone and like weirdos and deficient. And we all have tremendous wisdom to share and compassion for each other. So starting a support group, and everybody's like, yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, just like, and also launching these kids into a world that doesn't understand them. Like, the world needs more healed parents and people. And I think that my kids, because of their challenges, are going to be extraordinary adults. So,
sure. Yeah.
How does it relate to the reparenting that you talked about?
Well, I had less than stellar parents. They weren't abusive, but they were distant.
A lot distant or absent.
And like pretty absent in many ways. And I don't know how to parent because, but I'm making mistakes right and left, but they're not the same mistakes. I think there's generational healing that's on my plate.
Yeah, no doubt.
To your parents' credit, they didn't recreate the abusive.
No.
Like, your dad was in a very abusive relationship
with his father,
his father. And so, like, he improved from what he had.
Poor guy was a hot mess.
Her dad was kind of absent, but at the same time, he wasn't abusive. So that's...
I mean, he was a narcissist.
Well, it's this whole thing. I mean, I always say 100% of my clients have been traumatized by their parents. Like, even if they had really excellent parents, it'd be like, they never let me off the leash and they were smothered me, and it was always, they were too loving and I never learned how to, like, so I think part of it is, of course,
probably going to be like the accusation, hopefully.
Right.
Not, like,
well, the deal is, you can't, like if you're going to course correct, you can't overcorrect, right? You can't. I mean, that's somehow we have to find the middle. Which is actually a little bit, I think, of what I wanted to talk about today, in part because, if my theory is correct, or if I don't really think it's fair to call it my theory, but if what I think is you have to like do your own work or get over yourself or heal self or whatever it is that we decided that we were going to call that, in order to show up for your partner in the way that they want you to. And cleverly, I'm like, do more things they like, do fewer things they don't like. But it's really just about showing up for the partner you have, because you can show up, you can be really good at loving Jane, but happen to be married to Sue, or really good at loving Max because you're really good at loving, but you happen to be married to Tim, and it doesn't change the fact that you have a loving heart and a loving capacity. You just aren't hitting the mark for your partner, and so that is, but you can only do that out of a sense of like standing on solid ground yourself, I think. So, if we're shifting in that way, I think parenting actually works in the same way. Like you can't just course correct the opposite of your own parents. You have to kind of find that space in the middle that actually just holds the container for whatever the trauma ends up being.
And can I add something? Because
of course,
like apart from that like sense of providence and purpose, like I have a lot of love in my life. Like it's not like a tundra. Like Ira is a very loving, supportive husband and like my best friend. Like my husband is my best friend.
Yeah.
And we can go at it, but like I know he's got my back and I hope he knows that I have his back. But I also have like really, really rich friendships with some incredible people in the States and here. And, that really helps, that really helps.
Yeah. Well, did you guys spend any time thinking about this idea of self-health vis-a-vis our last conversation, or do you want me to riff a little bit? Because I have some.
Can you?
I don't know.
I'd like for you to riff.
I'd love for you to riff.
I have some theories.
But we should just quick update. Like I feel like we've had some good conversations.
Yeah.
And we've just started at a new kind of health club, like a block from our new house, which is
if we ever move into our new place.
Once of course it looks like it's going to be another 5 weeks till it's done.
Oh, geez.
But like it seems like a really great partnership. This great place for the physiotherapist that Andrea met with today. I met with yesterday, and they can really figure out on a deeper level what you need from a wellness, health, fitness perspective, and really kind of come alongside you. So that's, and and for me, it's like, I feel like I just have to say, I have seen Andrea take some hard steps that to me makes me have more respect for her. Because I think it's for anybody to really take care of yourself well, it takes a lot of intelligence and discipline and wisdom and saying no to things that you really like that aren't good for you, and choosing to do things that are really, good for you, but maybe you don't have a habit of it. It takes a lot of character to do it, right? It's not coasting. It really takes intentionality and focus and wisdom and intelligence. And so like seeing her do these moves, I have more respect for her because I see that, and it makes me, and I think respect is kind of the foundation that love's kind of built on too. An attraction is built on respect.
Andrea, I don't know. Like, I know I'm prickling a little bit at this idea of more respect for you. I don't know if you are.
I'm also prickling at the idea.
I guess, Ira, I want to say, like, how do you feel about that realization, like the meta reality? Oh, I'm realizing I have more respect today than I did last week or something like that. Like, how do you feel about that?
I think in the past I was kind of losing some respect.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was kind of like wishing that she would be making harder choices and being smarter about it. And I think, to be honest, I think I was losing respect.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But so here you are, and oh my gosh, look at this, some respect. I just realized I found some. I lost it, and I'm finding some. How do you feel about that?
I don't think I lost it and now I'm finding it. I just feel like, I think in the past it wasn't a lost and found. I felt disappointment and now I'm feeling like I'm seeing who she's made out of, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I can I say something?
Well, let me just land this thought for a second, because the idea that that's beautiful, and I heard you say a little bit earlier, like you value beauty. Part of what you love about your new place is it's beautiful, and you get to make it, and you get to enjoy it. Like, do you find gratitude for that? Do you go, oh, this is beautiful. I'm so grateful for this, for you, for her, for the family, for like, versus, oh, phew, I'm glad I got the respect back. That's good, because I was losing it before.
The question is, do I feel gratitude for?
I don't know, man. I guess my question is somewhere around, and maybe Andrea, you can chime in here. It's somewhere around, do you understand the power that goes with being the respect holder or the respect not haver?
I feel like it's a two-way street, right? And I think in any relationship that should be evenly held, right? That we both
could be, but that's not the relationship that you guys are in.
They're making hard choices that take bravery.
Yes.
They're like not taking the easy road. They're like setting goals and going for it. And like, that's really cool. I really respect that. Right. Like,
yeah, you do.
It's not a who has it. It should be, and I think in a healthy relationship, it goes both ways, right? We need to mutually look at the other person and say, wow, I am impressed. This person has substance.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's unique for you. I think that's important to you, and I value that for you. And I actually want people to be impressed by me. That would mean a lot to me if some of you were impressed with me. Some people don't hold value in being impressed or respected or having respect. Like, there's just a different mechanism or makeup. You know, Andrea doesn't have the same makeup wherein she looks across the relationship and goes, look at all the cool things Ira's doing to take care of himself and his spirit and his body and his thing. That's so respectful. I really respect that. And you know that's just, this is not where you hold value together. And so we're sort of back to this idea of how do we make sure, and listen, I think it's actually quite cool that you're aware of some respect that you have for her. She deserves it. But if that's coming from I'm ridiculous on purpose because it helps me make my point, so I'm not actually talking about you strictly here. But if it comes from a like, whew, finally you're respectable place, that's harder than if it comes from a, oh my gosh, that's maybe the coolest thing I've ever seen. And the side benefit for me is I get to carry around some additional respect. I'm really happy about that. Those are different manifestations of that. And even if you think you're articulating the latter, if she's experiencing the former, the first one, then we have a gap that we have to close through like actual exploration, which I think is part of what I'm wandering around in right now with you, is just to go, hey, what do you know about this feeling? And I think we should hear from Andrea because she's got some of her own experience that doesn't happen to be bottled up in mine.
I think, to this, so that we're on the same page, I don't know, you picture like a marriage where there's like a guy who is a couch potato. I'm going to be ridiculous to make the point.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm not a couch potato.
There's some guy who's a couch potato and goes to work. He's tired. He comes home, cracks open a beer, chips, sits on the couch.
I know that guy.
Just sits there, doesn't spend time with his kids, doesn't take care of himself, is using a credit card too much, getting in financial debt. He's taking the easy road, right? And
100%.
So if a woman sees that, there's going to be less respect for him, right?
Sure.
So, and if he says, do you know what? I'm going to change this. Instead of going home, I'm going to do these things, I'm going to spend more time with the kids and I'm going to pay off my credit card every month. And I'm going to take up a hobby that's much more productive than this. And then she's like, oh, wow, I have more respect. So like,
yes.
So I think it's a, I'm not saying it's the only thing in a relationship is respect. There's also having fun together. There's also being able to connect intimately, being able to connect relationally. It's one building block of a relationship to say, wow, this person is making wise choices. And that's really, I feel a sense of like, wow, I see who this person is and their substance.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying is I'm feeling substance.
No, I get that part. And I'm saying, how do you feel about that?
I feel good.
Good. Grateful?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Grateful.
Optimistic? Like, hopeful, encouraged? Like, that's very different than, I'm finally seeing the thing I've been entitled to from the beginning, or I'm finally getting the thing that I wish I had or that I used to have. Like, those are just different expressions of this new version of respect or this newfound respect.
If I can speak,
Of course.
I don't feel like his respect is the finally respect. Like I don't feel that way.
Yeah, good.
But I think why I'm crying is because what I would like even more than respect is compassion.
I've had a lot of compassion for you. There's been lots and lots and lots of compassion. You don't feel that?
I feel like
I listen and listen and listen and say, oh, I feel the same way. I understand. And oh, that's really tough. That's really hard. Yeah, like, yes, true. Like we've gone through really, really tough things. And yes, it's hard. This is hard. This is hard.
Yeah.
I listen and listen and listen and listen and listen and listen and say, whew, that's tough. A lot.
Clearly you're kind of fed up with it.
It's a lot. It is. That's I
don't know how to not be a lot.
But I feel like for you saying I don't feel compassion.
Well, that's not what you said.
Like,
that's not what I said. What did I say, Zach?
You said more than respect, what I would like is compassion. And Ira said, I am compassionate. And what that makes me think is maybe you have different definitions of compassion. Because if one of you is like, I am, and the other one's like, yeah, but I need more, then that becomes the mystery. Oh, wait, hold on. Well, then what are you talking about? Like, and this is where I think we have to figure out, and there's consequences to whether or not you can come together on the definition of compassion and what that looks like. But I don't doubt that Ira's compassionate. I think Ira's, you have told me he's loving, he's kind, he's attentive.
Yes.
He just isn't, it's not landing for you in a way that's valuable. And some of that is your work, right? Some of that is you saying, I can receive this as compassionate and not as, almost there or kind of there or not quite enough. I mean, you have a whole story that predates Ira about your enoughness. And that needs the care.
The bulk of our relationship, the bulk of our time together is you expressing things you're anxious about.
It's true. Well,
and
a lot of them
listening.
A lot has to do with our kids.
And holding you and while you cry and just say, that's good. Cry it out. Go for it. I totally understand. It totally makes sense. I feel it too. That's the bulk of our conversations. Right? So
not untrue.
So to say to me that I'm not What were you saying?
You know what? Can I just like back this?
That you need more compassion from me?
Well,
That makes me feel really like what I feel like I'm overflowing with that to like the point of exhaustion.
Resenting me.
That it's 90-something% of what we do. So for me to take out even more compassion, more of that, I don't, and to say that I don't have it feels like
I didn't say you don't have it.
All of that.
I didn't say that you don't have that.
Enough.
There's something painful for me in that having to gain your respect thing, like that feeling like.
I was just trying to say I'm positive about the hard choices you made, and that it's beautiful and it deserves respect. It's great.
I might have picked this fight because it was me that originally kind of was like, I wonder what that is.
It's not it's a fight, but there is something, there's like a loop that's not being.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you making hard choices and shifting habits and being intentional, and it's really impressive and beautiful. I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Thank you.
I guess maybe the part that's hard is whether or not respect or love or compassion is conditional, like in general, it's a question that people have to grapple with from time to time. And I think it's amazing that you're making choices for your health and for your wellness. I think we've all acknowledged that's going to be part of the puzzle. And I think it's amazing that Ira can see that and reward it and go, hey, this is really cool and it's beautiful and I love it. And oh, by the way, a byproduct inside of me is additional respect, which is great. And I hope I think that that's the land that we want to live in. But if somehow we're not closing that gap communication wise or experience wise, then, again, each of you has this work to do to kind of stay in sort of a healthy self-esteem kind of space where, Andrea, you remember the thing that you said about what you had to offer the fight. I've got a lot to offer her. I have so much to give her. Like, you are a fully formed human being with lived experience that adds value to other people, including your 2 children and your young you and your husband and your community. Like, all of that is true independent of any other factor or variable, including someone else's degree of respect or not for you. Yeah.
For whatever reason, right now at this juncture in time, I'm a freaking hot mess.
Of course you are. That's okay. Just be the best hot mess. Like, you could just be a badass hot mess. That's fine. Like, be a badass at being a hot mess. That could be amazing. Did you guys see that? You might be a little young for this, but that tweet that's been making the rounds right now, and it says something like,
I'd be a little young for this.
I need Judy Blume to write a sequel called "Hey God, It's Me, Margaret, and Now I Have menopause, and seriously, what the fuck?"
Dude, I'm 58 years old. Like, I know Judy Blume. I actually.
Oh yeah, I guess you are not too young. Well, that's a credit to you both, because I was like, they're younger than me. So.
No, I'm 58. He's 50. I'm 58.
How old are you?
52.
Yeah. So we're the same age.
Yeah.
No, I grew up with Judy Blume. I know Judy Blume's son. I did jury duty with Judy Blume.
I remember
that's amazing.
Judy Blume, what is her?
Forever
in the school bus.
The soft porn.
The other kids in the back of the school bus.
Oh man, those were the days. Well,
I hate reading books on the screens. I always buy the book.
Well, I don't think we're too far away. I expect the apocalypse any day now, and so all technology is going to shut down. We're going to have to go back to just wandering around and performing Shakespeare in the woods. Like,
kind of good.
Why does that not sound bad? That sounds kind of.
Here's my new cocktail party question. If there was an apocalypse right now, and like 70% of the population got wiped off the planet, like zombies or mushrooms or whatever it is. Would you rather be in the 70 or the 30?
Be a zombie or be a zombie running.
Would you
from
rather
this?
be like wiped off, like just like I'm out, apocalypse, I'm done, 70% virus, clean up my dead body, throw it in the whatever, or
the
in
30,
the 30 that has to like remake society?
I bet you
find that
the way you
impossible to
frame it,
answer.
I bet you'd say you'd rather just be out.
I think I'm in the 30. I think I'd be into like, yeah, I want to build the thing. I want to be like, okay.
I want to be in the 30, but I think I might be in the 70.
Yeah.
But if there is the potential for building something new
I
and
agree.
flourishing and healing, then count me in.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that's where you're at right now. You're in the potential for building something new that's flourishing and healing.
Yeah.
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 I think that there's there's a moment that we get to sometimes where you're trying to figure out the difference between less bad and more good. Like, how do we stop doing the stuff that is problematic, and how do we start doing the stuff that's actually representative of the relationship that we want? And, it comes down to even something like you guys exploring the definition of compassion. Like, what is it? What do you mean? Maybe it's not even true that it is or it isn't a thing, but it's just not landing in the way that you want to. And that could also be affection. That could also be attention. That could also be equality. That could also be, if you're having different, sometimes it's not that a thing is or isn't there. It's that you just don't have a common vocabulary around it.
There is my fear is that there's like a hole in my bucket that the love keeps on pouring through because of capital T trauma. Because Ira is very loving and is like more compassionate now than he's ever been, just this morning I was crying about some stuff and he was just holding space for me. So, I can imagine how challenging it is to be with somebody who has a hole in the bucket. And I have done a lot of work in the past, and I wish that were enough, but obviously it comes back and cycles through in different ways. If I can just go back to the respect thing, I think that something, I have some deep wells of shame. And when it comes to feel like it all rests on my shoulders, like the function or dysfunction of this relationship depends on me. That's when it starts feeling bad and like shame inducing. I know he's not trying to do that, but that's what happens in me is it sends me into a shame spiral.
Okay.
Like, I think there's a lot of shame there.
Yep.
And it's just really triggered right now. And that shame can feel paralyzing.
Well,
and when
again,
shame, my defense is to feel resentment. So it's like this cycle that happens where, he wishes that I were doing more for myself to, it feels
and so do you.
Sisyphean, like
Sisyphus, I know. Yeah, I got you. But you agree that you need to do more to take care of yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean, it's
So
like
that's
it's
good.
not- yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And
And I agree. So we all agree that it's a good idea for you to take care of yourself and to steward your shame, and to do that in a way that is also reflective of the other reality, which is that you're doing a pretty great job, and you're showing up in ways that like not a lot of moms in your situation could also show up, and you're doing it with some intention, and you're doing it despite some real hard challenges of your own inside your own way your own brain works. And there's an other side to the opportunity to feel shame. And I think that those of us who are doing the work have to like create enough space between that experience of shame, the kind of the, I feel ashamed, and it's now I guess I'm going to go in the spiral, and create enough space to replace that story with a truer story, one that actually serves you. And that is
try and like peeling off the onion layers, right? Like
but it starts, I think, with some patience.
Yeah.
Right. Just some oh wait, do I have to choose shame here? Let me decide.
I want to know how to get that like gap where I can choose not shame.
Oh man, I love talking about this.
Because it's just that neural pathway is really deeply rooted. And I would love to know how not to just automatically slalom down that course.
Yeah. You practice. You literally practice. You practice getting a little sliver, and then you make that sliver a little bit bigger. You make that sliver a little bit bigger. You practice with physical. You go outside, and you feel the wind, and you pause, and you just feel the wind for a second, and you create a little bit of like, oh, that wind is kind of cool, kind of warm, and then you pat yourself on the back, and you go, oh, look at that! I created some consciousness between an experience my body had on its skin and the way I made meaning out of it. Look at that. I did a little bit of that. And then you do it with sound.
Yeah.
And then you do it with physical pain. And then you do it with, I don't know, smell that evokes a memory that makes you feel embarrassed because the same time you smelled grass when you were in the second grade, you also peed your pants or something like that, Then you create a little bit more, and then literally, I'm not kidding. You just practice, and you keep practicing, and you practice. And this is not any different than I'm talking about mindfulness, right? I'm talking about meditation. I'm not but you don't have to like meditate. You can just literally, practice right now, right this second, feeling the couch underneath your legs. And then go, that's kind of weird. It's a little heavier on the left than it is on the right. And I guess I didn't think about that and then, I do encourage, and I like toying with the physical sounds, feelings, because gaining some confidence there. Then also when I go, I'm really mad, I go, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I am really mad. I wonder if I'm just mad because I used to be mad when I was 13, or if I'm mad now.
That's really interesting, because that is kind of an approach too to create a little distance from those overwhelming emotions, right? You can say, instead of I'm mad, you can say I'm feeling mad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can say I notice that I'm feeling mad.
Well, this is what I was asking you a little bit earlier about respect, because you're feeling respect, and adjacent to that could be entitlement. Like finally, which we've all acknowledged is not the case. Adjacent to that could also be gratitude, joy, and to put the space in, and even to name it, to go, hey, I'm feeling more respect for you, and that also, it makes me feel so happy, because I love respecting you. Mm-hmm. Is really different than now that you've checked this box, this other box got checked inside of me, and I'm glad that box has finally been checked,
I think I would love like a fuller articulation of what respect means to you, because I think in my most fearful moments, that's what it feels like. Oh, as long as Andrea is like working out, then it's like check. And then that's good. but like a deeper sense of what respect means. It's not that I don't value respect. I just think, and this is probably a generalization, that it means different things for men and women. And
Yeah,
that maybe,
sure.
like men value respect
minimally,
more.
it means different things for you,
Yeah.
a woman, and you, the man that you're in relationship with. Like.
But I think it's one of those words that it sets me down a path that maybe isn't what you mean, and what's going on deeper with that, like, respect thing. I think
So
I'd love
maybe
to know
respect
that.
is a non-helpful word here. Maybe a better word is like, I'm impressed, or I see more of your character, and it's beautiful.
See that like,
one.
That one.
Okay.
Impress, no, that does
Okay.
not work. That, like, is worse for me than respect.
Okay.
But
Well,
like,
the thing that I noticed about that second one, I'm impressed, is that was about you, Ira, versus the third one, or the next one that you said, which is, this is amazing and looks good on you, is about Andrea.
it shows you have mettle. It shows that you have character. It shows that you are doing the hard thing, and doing it in a way that's authentic to you, and not for like, because in order for anything to really last, it kind of has to be intrinsic. Like,
Yeah.
You're holding up
100%.
a mirror to me that's hard to see, but I see it in that way. I recognize the problem. I finally acknowledge that I'm scared of getting old and feeble and not, and like, and so I want to do something about it, but it can't be an extrinsic, like it does, like the penny has to drop for me. And I think the penny has dropped. So, but to like say, it really shows that you have character. Like, it makes me, it makes me love you more to see that character. That just like really makes me happy. And also, I think there's an aspect to this where Ira has always said, when I've said in the past, like, why is it so important for you that I am at the same, or my fear is that he's in sick shape, like, and has always been in great shape, and focus, like, takes very good care of himself, and has since he was 15. I, less so, have gone through periods of it, but never consistently like he has. And I'm like, and he said often, like, it makes me feel unseen that we don't have that same value. And that always felt like I felt like controlled by that. But I want, like, it's the deeper stuff that I love to understand about why, I mean, it's obvious, like, you love me, you want to be around and be healthy so that we can live together and raise these children well and love each other, et cetera, et cetera. Like, that's substantial. But there does seem to be like a deeper, why for you it means so much, and not for some other person. Because for some people it wouldn't,
No, it's a core part of who I am, right? And my values is a desire to live a long life and not just be sick in bed,
Well, I don't want to be sick in bed.
Like, I saw my mom die at 70, right? Like, I want to live longer than that, and I want you to live longer than that.
Definitely want to live longer than
Life is short, and I want to live it really well. And that's a priority of mine, and to marry someone 8 years older than you who doesn't have that same priority, it feels scary. Makes me feel unsafe.
Okay.
So for me,
makes me feel unsafe.
The fact that, to have the person I want to spend my life with and do fun things with, to think that she might die early. She might be stuck in bed and from choices she made. Is having those extra 20 years to really have fun and to live life together.
Yeah. As long as you do that, right? As long as you actually do the fun living of life together.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, this is again where you're at the moment is to decide, how are we going to do, today? How are we going to do this? How are we going to make sure the next 10 days are better? Than the 10 days before that? What are the small micro choices that we need to and can make? And I think this is actually a pretty fun part of being in a thoughtful relationship with others, is to go, hey, what do we need to do? Like, not forever, but like for the next 10 days. Like, is there a little mini goal, or is there a conversation that we need to have, or is there a way that we can actually level up in this or that space? It makes me think too, like, there are hundreds of kinds of athletes, but let's say there's two kinds of athletes. There's athletes who train to race, and then there's athletes who race to train. So I would put you, Ira, in the first category. Like, you train to race. Like, if there was a race, you could do it. Versus people like me, I pick a race, like a marathon that I'm going to run next year, and then that keeps me training to the next. You know what I mean? And Andrea, I wonder if, not strictly at the athletic level, if you are trained to race or a race to train person, because you may need a race, not like a five. I'm not talking strictly about a 5K, but like some thing out there that then you pile up your care regimen in order to achieve, and it doesn't have to be a physical or physiological goal. It could literally be a parenting goal, but something that said, I know how to contain this thing.
A race to train person.
Yeah, I definitely am. So, what is that target? And then what are the pieces that go into place? Because
they don't have that many external, like, I have some issues sometimes with executive function, and I don't have a job.
Yeah.
I don't, like, I've been in the parenting machine, the machine.
Yeah.
And, like something like that.
I don't know. Maybe you need a target. And again, I'm not talking strictly about a 5K, but something that you can look at out there and go, I'm aiming at that thing over there. So that all the stuff that's right here, the mother machine, has a context, which is bigger than I am overwhelmed right now on this Saturday afternoon. It could be, this is in service of the theoretical 5K I'm going to run, or the $1 million I'm going to raise, or the parenting, the conversations I'm going to have with 5-year-old me over the next, the 10 critical conversations I'm going to have, and go, okay, I got you, kid, real kid, living kid, other living kid. Then you go and you have your like secret edifying conversation with yourself. And that becomes, so literally it could be anything, something though, that helps you go, I'm a badass and I got this, And then Ira, I think, for you, it's something like appreciating and cultivating gratitude for the upside, and really leaning into that and sort of separating I think this is a pretty important piece in general, but it feels like it also is an important piece for you, but separating your capacity or straight up your edification or your satisfaction inside of your marriage from her, from other. Like, I think when you can cultivate inside of yourself just real gratitude for the things that are going well, and like lean into the things that you're impressed by, then you can kind of take courage and confidence in that gratitude versus in the execution of the thing that's happening over there. Does that make sense?
To find a connection and gratitude to the positive things that are happening in Andrea, or in the relationship, or in me, or in life.
Well, I guess maybe if I reverse engineer it, or I come at it from another direction, to the degree that your marital satisfaction is dependent upon her behavior or the way that she shows up, then you're always just subject to Andrea. And I'm saying lean into the Ira part which is that when Ira finds out that he's impressed, or when Ira finds out that Ira has more respect, can an other part go, man, that's a very cool gift that you got from your amazing partner.
Oh yeah.
Versus, do you know what I mean? Like that's the 52-year-old version, or the wise version, or the sober version, or the functional version that says, all right, now let's see if we can leverage this, for something like connection. That's where the real work is. And I think whether that for the two of you is through conversation, or through activity, or through star chart that you make, and you take things, because you just value things in different ways. And so learning how to talk about, like, how do we appreciate what compassion is for each of us, or what connection is for each of us? Like, those are really critical inquiries.
Does that make sense, Ira? Like, does that settle?
Yeah, I mean, I think to find, I definitely don't, happiness needs to come from the inside, right? Like life is this well that is inside of us, and I think to connect to that for happiness, and not to an external thing, whatever that be, another, a good marriage, kids that listen to you,
Yeah.
Success in work, or, like to have that core state of happiness from the inside is such a secret to life itself, right? It's like a city that with its own well and garden, can withstand a long siege. Not having that. So and I think I feel like the more life I live, the more contemplation and meditation and prayer, I'm going deeper and deeper into that. Yeah. And I think actually doing that has kind of enabled me to take this step of bringing up this issue. I think, and I've swallowed it for a long time.
I mean, you've brought up this issue periodically many times,
but I have brought it up, but now I'm bringing it up in a way that is more focused and intentional, and coupled with, I want to live a long, interesting, enjoyable life with you. And I'm scared that might not happen. I'm scared of that. And I really want to see you flourish.
Well, part of you is scared of that.
Yeah.
Part of you is scared of that.
Yes. And I have all different parts. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the part of you that's scared can be scared. And the part of you that's courageous can, I think, continue to build this place. What did you call it? A city with, say it again?
A city with a well and a garden,
Yeah, a city with a well. You build this.
And a siege.
And then you say, I'm here. Come here. Come here. I'm going to make this as hospitable as possible. This is actually my whole philosophy. And I'm completely committed to it. It's just the idea that your job is to go to the healthy place, cultivate it, grow it up, and never leave. Like, build a lighthouse, throw a ladder over the edge, say, Andrea, or say, Ira, I'm here. I'm here in the healthy, Rebecca, I'm here. That's, in the healthy place. Come here. I got you. I'm going to keep building this. Nothing I'd rather do for you to come here, but I'm not going out there. I'm not going out there to the unhealthy place. And, each of you, if you share that commitment, then there really don't have any option but to have created an amazing, healthy, beautiful place that is hospitable to now your kids and the trauma that's been passed down from generation to generation, and say, no, this is the healthy place. You guys just have different definitions of health, and each of you has different paths to get there. And, the real learning is what is it going to take for me to get there? And it's different for each of you. And because you prioritize different things, body, mind, soul, spirit. So, how do we collaborate? I was thinking the other day about how many times couples tell me they want to be on the same team. And I'm like, sure. Yeah. But when you're putting a team together, you know, in the movies, you go to the construction site to get the first guy, and you go to the zoo to get the second guy, and you go to the laboratory to get the third guy, and you go to the, McDonald's to get the next guy, you know, and everybody's got different skills, and ideally the two of you are doing the work of collaborating with your different skills in order to create this thing that is in the sort of new space.
And I think that that's really important for me, is to have him realize, and he says he does, that what it looks like on me is different than what it looks like on you, because I'm a 58-year-old woman, was raised in a very different environment as you, who has different stuff, you know, different DNA, different personality.
Yeah.
But 100%. I do think that we have enough overlap.
Yeah. Oh my, you guys are amazing. Yeah.
You know,
your friendship and your respect for each other is apparent. It's evident. Like that you have a lot of maturity and affinity, and you have some other messages that shout real loud, and you need to figure out how to pause and slow down and create choice into that space, and then make that choice for health, so that when you both are there, you can really reap the benefits.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, you know, that idea of being a marriage as being yoked together, right? The idea of like two oxen,
two,
you know,
beasts of burden,
pulling the same yoke, you know, that they're going the same direction, right? There's the idea of like, if one oxen wants to go to the left and the other one wants to go to the right, you know, it's not going to be a good relationship there, right? It's the idea is like aligning, where are we going? You know, like, are we going to the same spot? The same direction? Right. And I think that's what I really want to do now, is really get aligned, that we both have the mutual similar values, similar goals of where we want the rest of our life to look like, you know, and that we both are like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Let's do that together.
Yeah.
You know,
all I'm saying is for now, start with the next 10 days.
Yeah.
And my snout has been in the earth, like going like, damn, this road is hard.
Yeah.
You know,
which it is.
We've done some big things, like moving here was a big thing.
And we're in the middle of it now, right? So we're having some hard conversations, probably the wrong timing, right?
Wrong.
Like
I don't know.
moving. So like, I mean, isn't there statistics like some of the most challenging things for a marriage is death of a family member, right? Like losing a job, but other big ones is moving and renovating a house. And we're doing both simultaneously right now. We are moving and renovating a house and having these hard conversations. So kudos to us for
fucking awesome,
for being strong, be able to do this.
Okay, thanks again to Ira and Andrea. I really hope the next 10 days and the 10 days after that and the 10 days after that are fruitful for you and for you, the listener. If you can't figure out how to make headway in your relationship right now or forever, maybe just pick a period of time, 10 days, and make those small steps that you can make to change the trajectory of the relationship. One of my favorite quotes from Terry Real is this idea of what is our enemy? More of the same. What's our friend? Something new and different. So we're just trying new and different stuff. Again, if you have questions or comments, or you want me to think out loud about some of your thoughts, please send them to me, info@marriagetherapyradio.com. I've gotten a lot of feedback already, and I'm going to try and address your feedback shortly for next week's episode. So yeah, drop me a note. For now, I'll thank you for the time and attention you're putting into making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.